Godot 4.1 is super close to us. This release candidate 2 should be the one. If no major error is identified in coming days, they'll go ahead and release 4.1 stable. So today I will be checking out the new stuff in this version. And now let's start. So this is the post of this new release candidate. Something that you may not understand is why this is the second release candidate. Well, this is because some days before release candidate 1 was released. As you can see, this was in 27th of June, and then actually the version release candidate 2 was released 3 days after. Okay, so the thing is that I couldn't make the video of release candidate 1 because when I was going to record release candidate 1, the version 2 of the release candidate was released. So yeah, let's only pay attention to release candidate 2. So here we have some information that may be very useful over the course of the beta testing phase, and with our first release candidate a few days ago. The first release candidate was the one that I showed you a couple of seconds ago. We identified and fixed a number of regressions, recently introduced bugs that would worsen the experience compared to Godot 4.0. And here it comes the most important thing, I believe. Now we are fairly confident that we've handled most of those, and the remaining issues we are tracking will likely be deferred to a fix in feature 4.1.x maintains releases. And also here, that is to say, this release candidate 2 should be the one. If no major regression is identified in coming days, we'll go ahead and release 4.1 stable. So as I said before, the official release of Godot 4.1, the stable version, is super close to us. And in order to know as soon as this new version 4.1 is released and all the things that come with this version, it's very important to subscribe to the channel because I'm always uploading the news of this version. So yeah, subscribe to the channel is completely free. And also have some other information here that the version 4.2 is scheduled for a release in November of 2023. Here it also says some systems have also been reworked, which means projects that rely on those need to be updated. Also, we don't have a lot of improvements, and we didn't have lots of contributors to this version. For example, we can see here 11 contributors submitted just 15 improvements. And well, we can see that these improvements aren't really important. I mean, not really big. But well, obviously, as it was said at the beginning of the post, they're just like publishing the version, and they're planning to release the 4.1 stable in just a couple of days. So obviously they aren't going to update a lot of stuff and just gonna stick with the things they have created, or maybe they're gonna improve some existing features. Now let's actually download the version. As usual, you have this standard build with only support for GDScript, or you also have the version with C# support. So I'm gonna download the standard build, exactly the version for Windows 64, but you can select your platform here, but I'm gonna click this one and I'm just gonna wait a couple of seconds. Okay, so here we have our compressed file. If we double click it, we're gonna be able to open it. We have here the console. Okay, this is the console, as you can see, console.x, and we also have like the normal version, I mean the executable. So if we double click this and wait a couple of seconds, we're gonna see that we're gonna open the Godot engine. As you can see, we can see also here the version 4.1 release candidate 2 official. Remember that we have also the tag system. If you don't know what this manage tags button work or does, I'm gonna briefly explain that. If we select, for example, this project that is from the previous beta, we can click here manage tags, and well, I had created some tags before, but let's add, for example, some other tag here for example, hello. And as you can see, now I have my project tag with this tag. So the thing with these tags are that we can sort by tags, for example here, or we can only show the projects that are tagged with some tag. So for example, if I only want to show the projects that are tagged with this completed project, I can just click this one, and as you can see, all of the other tags are hidden. All the other projects, I mean, we don't have this tag, are hidden. If we click this again, we remove like that filter. To make another example, for example, if we click this prototype tag, we only see the ones tagged with prototype, and also, for example, we see this project that is also tagged as beta 2. This feature is so amazing. And always remember that you can, for example, here select this project, click manage tags, add as many tags as you want, click on OK, and you are up to go. Something that I don't really like, I don't know, or there is actually no instruction, is how to delete some tag. I mean, for example, as you can see, these are the tags that I have created. But for example, if I want to delete this one tag, I can't. I try to right click it, double click it, click the delete key, anything, and it doesn't work. So I believe that for the stable release, they're gonna fix this feature. But well, anyway, this thing works amazingly good. So let's now create just a new project and try out the new stuff. Well, I don't think there is a lot of new stuff, but anyway, this is gonna be called Rlease Candidate 2 create folder. Oh, there is already a name. So I'm gonna this will be a 4.1 Rlease Candidate 2. I will leave the renderer as default. Now I will create a folder and click create and edit. I will also like to you to check the loading times of Godot. That's why I am not cutting the recording, as you can see, pretty quickly as always. Okay, we don't have much changes here in the interface or here in the windows. However, something very interesting that was added on the latest version is this make floating feature, that if we click it, we can see that now I have this window, and if you have to monitor, for example, you could drag and drop this window wherever you want. And well, if I close it, you can see it's repositioned where it is by default. Okay, so now I'm gonna create something very basic. I'm gonna create a 2D scene, and I will name it main. Main. Save it like this, and I'm gonna create some sprites here with the texture of the icon. I move, for example, right here, duplicate, then right here and right here. Then I'm gonna click where it says main, and I'm gonna attach a script, an empty script with no comments or creative functions. And on my process delta method, I'm gonna check if input dot get sorry, this was for Unity. Here is key pressed, for example, key 1. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my color of the sprite, of my first sprite, to red, for example. Then if we click, if we are pressing is key pressed key 2, we're gonna change the color of the second one to blue, for example. And finally, I'm gonna do something very similar, but firstly, let's put a space here and also here. And here I'm gonna check if I'm pressing the key 3, and if I am, I'm gonna change the third one to a color yellow, for example. Okay, here I have to put this in capitals like this. So this code is very basic and very simple to understand. If I'm pressing key 1, the first sprite will be changed to red. If we are pressing 2, the second sprite will be changed to blue, and the same thing will happen if we click the key 3. In this case, will change to yellow. So I'm gonna click here play, and I'm gonna select my main scene as my current scene. Okay, here I am, and if I press click 1, as you can see, 2 and 3. So yeah, everything is working fine. I have here a warning in the debugger. I believe it's because of the delta. Yes, of course. Remember that in previous versions we had a message here saying to select the blender path or something like that. I don't really remember what exactly said, but well, I believe now we didn't have that issue, so that's very nice. So remember that we also have the web editor, and in the previous beta, I mean it was beta 2 or 3, it was the last beta, I couldn't actually use the web editor. I don't know why, but when I wanted to create the project, it crashed. So let's now try if I can actually open a project. Okay, so here I am. I'm gonna create a new project. For 1, release candidate 2, create folder, and create an edit. As always, you always have to consider that the web editor is not meant to be used to create complete projects. It's only like trying out things, prototyping, and that kind of stuff. But well, amazingly good. Again, Godot worked, because well, as you can see here, the web editor worked nicely. So quickly, I'm gonna create again a 2D scene, name it main, right, icon here, icon. Okay, I can't quick load an icon. As you can see, I'm selecting it and I can't. Okay, I can't. I don't know why. That's the first issue. So let's try to attach a script. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, and then on my it crashed, I believe. Okay, on my ready function, I'm gonna just print something very easy, like for example subscribe. Okay, then I'm gonna save it, save, play, select current, save again. I don't know why. Selected scene does not exist. Select a valid one. Select current, main, select. This is super weird, man, because I had saved my scene, but I can't see it here in the file system, in the resources. I mean, here in the output, I had a lot of errors here related to the icon. For example, no loader found. Okay, again, the web editor doesn't work. And finally, remember that we have the version for Android that you can download. Going to download, and here you're gonna scroll down a little bit. In supportive platforms, you can click here on Android, and here we have the version on the Play Store and the version of the APK. The version in the Play Store, you can update it whenever a new version is released, but the APK, you can't update an APK, and that's why I really recommend you to download the Play Store version. As you can see, it has a lot of downloads. And well, we are very close to the latest, to the stable release of this engine. So if you want to be the first person to know when this new version is released, subscribe to the channel, because as soon as the stable release is released, I'm gonna be making a new video. So see you in the next one, and bye bye.